Hello, my name is Professor Allen Hoffman. I'm at Worcester in the Mechanical Engineering Department at Worcester Polytechnic Institute in Worcester, Massachusetts. The purpose of this video is to introduce the topic and some of the criteria associated with prototyping designs. In this video, I'm going to emphasize the development of zeroth order prototypes and first order prototypes. So the first thing we want to discuss very briefly is what is a prototype? And a prototype in general is a physical representation of a product that is used in the design process to help resolve one or more issues within the product development. The purpose of building a prototype, they can be very many. It can be just visual. It can be for learning and developing, evaluating customer appeal. Certainly, one of the goals would be to demonstrate that your design will actually work. Communication aspects are often used. Communication is often used as a reason for developing a prototype. Integration with other parts is another reason, and probably last common one is to demonstrate milestones within the product development process. And so from here we can begin to talk about zeroth order prototypes and first order prototypes, which would be our primary focus. What's the order of your prototype, or what is the minimum level of sophistication that is necessary to demonstrate your goal with a prototype? And we can define zeroth order prototypes, first order prototypes, and certainly higher order prototypes. I'll only concentrate on the first two that I mentioned. We might just want to demonstrate visually our design, so essentially a visual prototype, which may or may not have any functionality. Such a prototype could be demonstrated by a CAD model, not actually having to build something physical. It might be demonstrated by a rapid prototype model, which is not functional, but gives us the final geometry of our product. It could be demonstrated, and usually is, demonstrated by a full-size model, although we could have a scale model, but usually most prototypes are full-size. A zeroth order model. So let's just talk about zeroth order model prototype, which really doesn't involve material selection. Zeroth order prototype only demonstrates the most basic functional requirements of our design. Usually in the mechanical aspects or mechanical engineering, that would demonstrate kinematics. It give us a better idea of geometry also. These zeroth order prototypes can be very crudely constructed. I'm a great believer in popsicle sticks, wood and duct tape, Legos, Connects. So in that sense, if we're at a zeroth order prototype, maybe we don't have to face the material selection problems. First order prototypes. This is what we generally see in the beginnings of product development. In academia, where at least I am a big believer in first order functional prototypes. So a first order prototype should be, in general, a working design of the most important requirements, and it should be of a sufficient quality that it can be evaluated by others, other than the individual designer or the group of the designers. So should be first order prototype suitable for evaluation by the client, evaluated using the same testing procedures as the final product, demonstrates at least all but the most important functional features. Aesthetics may be lacking, but in some types of products, aesthetics would be highly ranked as something you want to show to your potential client. And the components may be of lower quality than a final product, and they may be of lesser durability than the final product. If a first order prototype is successful, it's not unusual to proceed into second and third order refinements of your design and hence of your prototype. Prototypes can also be used for subsystems, and in particular to examine the interface between subsystems in a more complex design. At this point in time, I'd like to just demonstrate or give you some examples of zeroth order prototype and first order prototypes. So zeroth order prototypes can be relatively crude. Here's an example in the assistive technology area where we were looking to develop a means of holding a key so that we could change the type of grip used in operating the key. Normally we use what's called a key grip, and that goes like this. It's pressing my thumb against the side of my index finger. For people with arthritis and with disabilities, that might be difficult to do. So here was just a basic design made out of cardboard tube and duct tape and paper clip that showed, well, if I created a design where I could now use the cylindrical grip, this is now a more powerful grip and would enable people with arthritis and similar types of musculoskeletal injuries to get a better mechanical advantage on operating the key. I'm using much larger muscle groups back here in my forearm than would be present in my thumb. So then I've got here 4 first order prototypes, and maybe there are 2 of the same kind here, so one might be a lower first order prototype and one might be a more refined second order prototype, or just a more refined first order prototype. People, particularly those who are elderly, have trouble operating a TV, the currently purchasable TV remotes, because they're too complex, the buttons are small, you have to have good targeting skills, you've got to have reasonable vision, and if you have tremor, they're very difficult to operate. So here was a first order, or maybe a little beyond a zeroth order prototype that said, okay, for people with cognitive disabilities, again, it's too complex. So here's a basic 5-button adaptation to the most inexpensive TV remote we could buy at the time this was constructed. It's just a wood case. Some of it's sanded out, thin pieces of wood. It's got buttons that are enlarged. They have different shapes, which would be an advantage. We could color code these. These are made out of erasers. And we have just functions that give us power on and off, channel down and channel up, or channel up and down, volume up and volume down. Now, on the basis of this, we produced a good first order prototype, much more refined. This would be suitable to show to a client. And that is, you can see it's just now a plexiglass or Lexan case. It's got buttons which are color-coded, rapid prototype buttons. They've got, they're embossed. They're embossed with the plus-minus sign for the channel and the arrows for up and down. And it's got the mute symbol here, and on this one we have embossed the power button sign. So again, this is a second refinement of the original prototype. This again works. You can see the original Walmart $5 TV remote underneath. So there's an example of that. One of the other problems that's elderly people have difficulty with is opening pill bottles. Consumer Product Safety Commission has made pill bottles very difficult to open for child safety purposes, but in addition to being child safe, they're almost adult safe, or certainly elderly adult safe. And so here is a combination first order prototype that could be used in the kitchen to deal with opening containers. We have the commercial product that we altered here at this end to take care of tab taps on cans. We have a standard bottle opener here, but what we have here is the prototype made out of plastic and just fairly crudely constructed. They can fit over the standard pill-sized bottles up to the maximum diameter, and now you can grab it with a cylindrical grip. You can stand and put weight on it, and you've got a big moment arm to twist the cap off. Here's a good first order prototype, which combines two functions. I mean, you can see it started out in life as a cane, which was modified by some of my students. So it's a combination device that has the advantage of a standard cane. We've lost the rubber tip along the way here, but it also doubles as a reacher gripper. So by just manipulating this handle, pulling it back, and then sliding it down, I can go out and actually pick up my cup. Well, that's got coffee in it. I have to pick it up on the other side. Pick up my coffee cup like that. Okay, and then to operate it as a cane, pull it back, squeeze the handle, and now it should have a rubber grip on it. So these last few items illustrate both 0th order prototypes. We see a very crude one. We see one here that's in between first and second order, between 0th and first order. We see again another one that's in that category. We see a good first order prototype here, ready to be out and shown to clients. And this one, although aesthetics are lacking, could also be shown to clients. It's fully functional. That concludes our video on prototyping. I thank you for watching and hope you have a good day.